We are now officially 1 month into the second half of 2023. I'm both really happy about how July went and a little worried as I'm moving on from it. I'm happy because I was able to complete 2 whole story games this month. One of these I wasn't sure I was going to be able to complete, but was able to pull it off right at the end of the month. Why am I worried? Well, I'm finding myself wading into some rather lengthy games. One of these I've been playing for a while another I'm just getting started with. This makes me wonder about how many games I'll be able to get through moving forward the next few months. It may not be too bad since not every game I'm playing has that issue, but I'm just not sure how it will all go. Even so, I'm pretty happy with how July went. I was able to finish a couple games, which is always something I enjoy. I was also able to play a variety of other games over the month, although not nearly the amount that I did in June. So let's get to the games. July saw me finishing 2 games. One of these I was able to finish early on in the month, while the other I finished up with only a couple days to spare. The first completed game is 12 is Better Than 6. I finished this game at the very start of the month. 12 is Better Than 6 is a top-down shooter that feels like it has taken inspiration from games like Hotline Miami. I'm not sure if it actually did take inspiration from it, but I did feel like there were some things in common here, only with a Western theme instead of a neon-soaked modern one. And even if it is inspired by Hotline Miami, I found that it falls quite a little bit short in my mind. I did put out a review for this game earlier this month, so take a look at that if you're interested in learning more about this game. I'll put a link on the video and down in the description. The second completed game is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. Last month, I was expecting to get through the second game in this collection, but I buckled down and focused hard on the game and was able to get through everything this month. This was definitely the story game I played the most this month, but I'm pretty happy I was able to get the game finished up, even if I did it with only a few days left in the month. The Ace Attorney Trilogy was an interesting experience for me. I'd never played the series before now, and had always been interested in trying it. It wasn't exactly what I expected, but I still enjoyed it quite a bit. You can expect a full review in August since I finished up the story. What was even nicer was that I finished the trophy list as I finished the game, so it gave me my 90-second platinum when I finished as well. Completing some games leads to newcomers to my story category. I'm adding a couple big names to the list this month. One of these has the possibility to be a very big time sink and makes both of my PC-centered games ones that could take quite a bit of time to get through. To be honest though, the list of what I'm playing right now is pretty amazing, so even if it does take a bit to get through, I'll be playing some fun games. Sadly, a lot of the games on this list haven't been played very much during July. Between being busy and focusing heavily on the Ace Attorney trilogy, there wasn't a lot of time left for other story games. A lot of these were only played once or twice over the course of the month, so I didn't get a lot of progression in any of them. The first of these is Stardew Valley. I played like one night of Stardew Valley Expanded early on in July. Didn't really get too far. I'm right at the end of summer. I didn't really get anything new or interesting that at least I can remember since it was quite a little ways away. I am hoping to get a little bit more time with this next month so that I can enter into the fall and hopefully progress a bit further and get some fun new stuff. The second story game is Final Fantasy II Pixel Remaster. I sneaked in a night of this near the end of the month after I finished up with the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. Needless to say, this is another game that I didn't get a lot of progress in, but I did enjoy what I played. I really have been enjoying the story of Final Fantasy II quite a bit, and I think it's a decent amount better than the first game's story. It's just a shame that the gameplay isn't quite as good. The way the leveling up is done is interesting, but it's one of those things that sounds really good in theory, but in practice it just doesn't live quite up to the expectation that it could have been. The boosting system of the new Pixel remasters does make this a lot better, but without that it would be a bit rough to get through in my opinion. Third game is Moon Hunters. We played a night of this as a family during July. We finished up a story that we had started last month and wound up actually getting the good ending of the game for our first time, and we found the Moon Goddess. I'm sure we'll still play this more every once in a while, but it was good to figure out how to find what we were looking for in the game and get a good ending. I still feel that there is quite a bit that we haven't experienced in the game, so it'll be fun to find some of these things that we're missing in the game in future plays. The fourth game is Skyrim. So after finishing up 12 is Better Than 6, I replaced it with a game that probably needs no introduction, Skyrim. This is the other PC game that I'm worried will take me a while to get through, the other being Stardew Valley. This epic open world RPG has tons of things to do in it. I'm thinking of trying to do a run that's focused more on getting the story done fairly quickly without using any mods or any kind of things like that to see how the game holds up by today's standards, and then doing another playthrough with mods that is more focused on messing about in the world, moving the game probably to more of the endless category than the story category. I feel like this is a game that benefits greatly from mods and things like that, and that the base game may feel a bit rougher than I remember. Still great, but not as amazing as what it would have been 12 years ago. And the last story game for July is Spider-Man. Here is the other big hitter that I'm adding this month. Marvel's Spider-Man is a game that's been on the backlog for a while for me, and I'm finally getting to it. Like many of the other games on the list, I've only played it once, but so far I'm really enjoying it. I haven't really progressed into the story too far yet, but the gameplay seems really tight, and it's been a lot of fun, and there are tons of things to do that do a good job meshing both the Peter Parker and Spider-Man sides of the character. So moving forward, I'm really excited to play more of this game, and I have some pretty high hopes for it. Moving on from story games, I'll be focusing on games that I call endless games. These are games that don't have clear-cut endings. They can be online PvP, arcade, sandbox, creative, simulation, or party games. Some of these are games I enjoy quite a bit and keep playing off and on, while others are ones that I'll play for a season and then move on from. This list isn't nearly as long as last month. I think this is due to a variety of reasons. We were fairly busy in July, so it meant that we didn't always get to have evenings to play together as a family. I also didn't play a few of the games that I normally do since I was focusing more heavily on story games this month. Lastly, people weren't as varied in their picks of what to play when we did play together as a family. So this makes a list that is still decent sized, but not nearly as huge as the 10 games I had last month. So the first endless game is Fortnite. This is again probably the most played endless game of the month. We play it together as a family at least once, if not more, every week. I will also play some Save the World a few times a week to earn some extra V-Bucks and some Battle Pass levels. I continue to enjoy the current season in the Battle Royale mode, although I do wish we could have a season that didn't have one of the seasonal weapons disabled for a large chunk of time. We've had that with the Shockwave Hammers, Kinetic Blades, and then now with the Boomerangs this season. Admittedly, the Boomerangs are probably my least favorite of those three weapons, and they are now back, but still it's not great that this has been an issue in every season of Chapter 4. In terms of progress on the Battle Pass, I've managed to get over tier 100 already and have started earning super level skins. I'm just hoping that I can get to level 200 before the end of the season, which will happen near the end of August. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it, but I guess we'll have to see. Second endless game is Bloons TD6. I honestly can't remember how much I played Bloons this month. I know I played it some, but not as much as some other months. I know I helped out in a couple of contested territories with the family. I played some Odysseys and took on some normal levels. We may have even played a co-op once as a family this month as well. My biggest accomplishment though, that I do know happened this month, was that I was finally able to earn enough monkey money to get skins for every hero that has one. I've still got a bunch of skins that I can buy, but every hero that at least has one skin, I have a skin for. The third endless game is Marvel Snap. The bite-sized battles of Marvel Snap continue to be a lot of fun to play for me, and even though they are kind of a small game, this is probably my second most played endless game of July. I did get a number of new cards in Marvel Snap, but not too many that were super exciting to me. The best was probably getting Null, but I also did get Spider-Man 2099, Phoenix Force, Jean Grey, and Kang. I got a couple of these from the Collector's Token store, one from the Season Pass, and then a couple from the new Spotlight caches, which were a pretty cool addition over the past month. I also really liked their premium mystery variants in the store, which led me to get a whole bunch of new variants over the past month with all the gold that I had stored up. I'm also rocking my highest rank I've ever reached this season, as I'm hanging around the 72 rank now, which I'm pretty happy about. The fourth endless game is Overwatch 2. Now, I tend to only play Overwatch 2 when my son is interested in playing it together with me. As I've said previous months, it's a game I enjoy, but I just don't play it too much on my own. Maybe if we get to the point where everyone in the family can play it at the same time, we'll play this a bit more, but for now it's a game that only gets played a couple times over the month. Fifth endless game is Terraria. The Moon Lord has finally been destroyed. My kids and I have been working on our Terraria world since 2 summers ago. In July, we were finally able to take out the last boss of Terraria. That doesn't really mean that we're done with the world, as there is still plenty to find and do. Our main goals right now are to try to tackle some of the trophies that people have left for the game. So trying to do these should keep us fairly busy for a while to come. The sixth endless game is Jackbox Party Pack 3. We played this once last month, and as usual, we had a fun time with it. Playing some favorites like Quiplash, Espionage, and Faking It is always a lot of fun and good for some laughs. We don't play these a lot over the course of the month, but we'll often hit one of the party packs at least once a month. And the last endless game and a new addition to the list is Tricky Towers. This is a Tetris-style puzzle game that we occasionally play as a family. In the game, there are 3 modes, at least in the multiplayer mode: race, survival, and puzzle, that require you to do different things. Race requires you to be the first person to build your tower to the finish line. Survival has you trying to build your tower without any pieces falling off. Each piece that falls off makes you lose a heart. The last person with health, or the first person to use the number of pieces for the challenge, is the winner. Puzzle mode is about being the one with the most pieces placed at the end of the contest. This is usually pretty difficult, as making a piece fall lifts the level up closer to the line that triggers the final count. These levels are also pretty weird and hard to get a good foundation to put a lot of pieces on, so it's always an interesting challenge. It's definitely not a game that you'd want to play regularly, but dusting it off to play every once in a while makes for a fun evening. Finally, we have the games I'm playing mainly to try to earn trophies or achievements for. I may not earn all of them in these games, but I'm striving to earn as many as I feel are reasonable. So the only game on this list, again, is Marvel's Avengers. I'm still working on Marvel's Avengers trophies. I didn't get a lot of progress on these, but did work on taking down some more hives for that trophy. I'm currently at 26 hives, which makes me a bit over halfway for that trophy. After I get done with those, we'll see what trophies I have left. I don't have a lot of trophies left for this game, and that one hopefully will help me take out some of the other trophies while I'm working on hives. So this is what I've been playing in July. I'm super pumped that I finished up 2 story games, but I'm not sure that's going to happen again for a while. I am hoping that I'll finish up Final Fantasy II in August, but I'm honestly not sure what other games will get wrapped up by the end of the next month. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I wasn't expecting to finish the Ace Attorney trilogy in July and was able to get that finished, so maybe I'll have some other surprises next month. How about you? What have you been playing in July? Have you picked up any new releases over the month, been playing old favorites, removing games from your own backlogs? Let me know in the comments, as it's always fun to see what others are playing and if those games are worth adding to my own backlog. Hope everyone had a great month and that you've been playing great games that you enjoy. That's all for this month, so we'll see you in the next video.